Hey guys, it's Phoenix Android Radios here. In this video, we're going to be looking at the 13-inch radio for the Dodge Ram vehicles 2013 to 2018. This also works for 2019 and above if you have the classic edition of the Dodge Ram. If you have the 2009 to 2012 vehicles, we do have a 12.1-inch version radio for that vehicle. Specifically, this is 2013 to 18. And if you have a manual or auto AC vehicle, they both are compatible. The air conditioning controls become touch control. You also have physical buttons at the top for air conditioning as well, and a hazard button here. The buttons are programmable. The single press is the function you see printed on the buttons, and a long press is a programmable button that you can control either media controls or climate controls. We've moved over the factory air vents from the original radio in the car, as well as the shifter and these knobs and buttons here. Also, if you have this compartment, if you have a power outlet or something similar like ours, you would move that to here. The radio comes in 3 different storage options: 4 gigs of RAM, 64 hard drive, 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of hard drive, and 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of hard drive. You have many different color options. Specifically on this plastic panel on the side, this whole piece panel here, you have 3 different options: silver, gray, and black. And the air vents, you also have an option of either silver, gray, black, chrome, aluminum, and red. Again, this is a 13-inch radio. It is Android 10. If we look at the back of the radio, we can see several of the plugs here. Really quick, you will get one of these brackets. When you're installing the vehicle, at the top of your factory vehicle dash, there is a compartment there. Underneath that, there are 2 screws where you can replace and place this bracket system there with the 2 screws. These tabs here will allow a flush fit for the plastic from here to the vehicle front dash so that there is no gap. Looking at the back of the radio, we have the radio antenna connection, which you'll get an adapter. But looking at the bottom, we've moved over the factory button panels that we will connect back to the factory plugs. If you have an auto or manual AC, depending on your vehicle, you have a matching plug for these. For the manual AC vehicles, you may just use one connector, or you may use these 2 connectors. For the auto AC vehicle, the panel will always have this connector, but you may have a smaller connector here for the auto AC vehicles. Speaking of this connector, this is the canvas connection for our radio. You're going to also be filling up all these connectors, and we have a power connector here with a fuse there, and an optical and a coaxial port. You have the 4G SIM antenna, as well as a GPS antenna, with a Wi-Fi antenna that supports 2.4 gigahertz band and 5G band. A SIM card slot here at the bottom that you can insert with your fingernail. And with that said, let's move on to what we get in the box. First is the accessory wires. We have the SIM card antenna, which screws on to the bottom here. You have the GPS antenna, which is an aftermarket one. You also get an adapter that allows you to connect the factory GPS antenna on your car. And so this screws onto the back of our radio. This connects to the vehicle. Okay. The radio supports both factory and aftermarket camera, and that is this plug with an RCA connection. This will go to the back of the radio. This connection, if you have an aftermarket camera, connects straight to here. But if you're using your factory backup camera, you can look over to the main cable, and there's 2 RCAs for the camera, one here and one here. The one we're using for the Dodge Ram is this camera RCA that comes from the main plug here. So for the factory backup camera, we can connect that to this one here. You get a radio antenna adapter for the factory radio antenna. This connects to the back of the radio. You have a USB cable with 2 USB ports. These are your secondary USB ports that do power and data. And you have a single USB port. This is for your Android Auto or built-in CarPlay. So the radio antenna connects to the top here. This connects to the factory antenna on the vehicle. You have the 2 USB cables, one of them being a 4-pin, the other one a 6-pin. With the clip facing downwards, we can connect that here. Here we have the external microphone that we don't recommend using because the radio has a built-in one. You also have an option to choose the factory microphone on the vehicle. But if neither of those two work, you can always connect the external one. And that connects to this harness here that has a microphone port there. This cable connects to the back of the radio. You also have a SIM card slot here, aux in and aux L and aux R in for audio source. There is a right camera in if you decide to put another video feed through here. Aux video in, which corresponded to the aux R and L. So again, you can connect a gaming console through here and see it on the radio. The microphone ports and RCAs for aftermarket sound. Here are the front out right and front out left, as well as a subwoofer. And for the rear, we have it on the main harness, which is here is the aftermarket sound system. If you plan to go, these are the rears. So rear right, rear right, and rear left. This one is the camera RCA that is not used for the Dodge Ram. You have 3 sets of red and white RCAs. Depending on the vehicle trim level, you may not have a CD player, you may not have an aux jack. If you do have rear entertainment, if you have an aux 3.5 jack on your vehicle, if you have a CD player, this is where that audio will come through. And if you want to hear that audio, these 3 sets of RCAs would connect to aux in or aux R for those audio sources. The other 3 RCAs here is the factory backup camera on the Dodge Ram, a video signal out 1 and 2. So this connector connects to the top here. And on the main harness, we are going to be connecting the factory backup camera, as well as this connector here that has 2 green wires on it. This is a 8-pin connector. Camera goes to the top here. And the 2 green wire connector goes right next to the USB. The last 2 connectors is the power at the top here. The canvas connection at the bottom here with the clip facing upwards. And the final box plug that goes to the vehicle. Don't forget to plug in the air conditioning controls. If yours is manual AC, it's either 1 or 2 of these. If yours is auto AC, the back's gonna look a bit different. You may have a smaller connector for the auto air conditioning plug. And with the factory button panels here, we'll connect those factory connectors back here. That's a quick look at the connections for the Dodge Ram 13-inch radio for 2013 to 18, 2019 and above classic editions. If you have a 2009 to 2012 Dodge Ram vehicle, we do have a 12.1-inch model for that year model. If you guys have any questions or concerns, give us a call or send us an email. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.